What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Foolish Wits, and today we're going to start a new segment in which I will kind of briefly explain gods, the lanes they're supposed to be in, their play styles, etc. Like I said, it's just going to be briefly because I don't want you guys sitting here for a 40-minute video just because I have to give extra details and specific. I'm going to try to make it as brief as possible while still giving you enough information to, take with you. And so today we're going to start with the solo lanes. I'm going to start the segment with all the solo lane gods, and then I'll move on to the others as we go on. So today we're going to talk about Ravana, arguably a top 3 solo lane pick. Now, before I get into this, I just want to throw out a little disclaimer that most of this is my opinion. This is what I believe in. If you want to disagree with me, then that's okay. I have no problem with you. I have nothing against you. So, Ravana, first things first, he's a solo lane god. He can be played in the jungle. It may or may not work. 9 times out of 10, I don't think it will work. The only time that people will play a Ravana in the jungle is if they have an assassin in solo lane. Just because you still need 2 frontliners on a team in Conquest, and so you need someone that's going to be able to peel a little bit more than the other 3 people on the team. So when you're playing a very squishy character in the solo lane, that's the time that people will decide to play warriors in the jungle. But it's normally not Ravana, it's normally Bellona. Anyways, I highly recommend not using Ravana in jungle. Keep him in the solo lane, that's where he's meant to be. Number 1 tip that I have for Ravana that I see a lot of people having a little bit of problems with is that they underestimate Ravana's damage. Early game, mid game damage, a lot of people really underestimate him. They play very conservative. They don't get physical with him, and with Ravana you have to get physical. Now, when I say get physical and play aggressive, I don't mean just jump in there and come at him. No, that's a death wish. But be a little aggressive, bump a little, do some poke damage. You're Ravana. You can do these kinds of things. Now, here are some reasons you can do these things. Ravana's passive. Every couple of hits or so with Ravana, he gains a shield, and that shield works kind of like a Geb shield, I guess you could say. It just adds more life to you. Not only that, but you have his 3, which gives you lifesteal for every person you hit. So if you use your 3 and hit all 6 minions, you get lifesteal from all 6 of them. That, combined with you auto attacking the minions, is gonna give you lifesteal and give you your shield. And then he also has his 2, I believe it's an X for PlayStation and an A, I'm gonna say, for Xbox. It's when he does the backflip. When he does his backflip, he's immune to everything, period. Damage, crowd control, everything. He is immune to it. And this is a very good thing, because if you're playing someone like a Bellona who has a move that's really obvious that you can time against perfectly, you're gonna destroy that lane. So what you'll normally do in a solo lane against Bellona, if you want to play aggressive, is you'll run up, you'll do your 3, and then it'll hit everyone in the wave, and then around that time Bellona should be getting ready to do her bludgeon, which is her 2, which is the one where she spins in a circle and hammers down. Now, that's her strongest move, and that's what a Bellona is almost always going to use to clear the waves. Now, what you can do is you can put pressure on Bellona by trading off. Here's another tip or thing that I do with Ravana. Instead of trying to hit the whole minion wave with the 3, I'll try to hit the front 3 of the minion wave and my opponent with my 3. So if I'm going up against a Bellona, I try to hit 3 people in the front of the minion wave and Bellona with a 3, and then I'll try to get some basic attacks on the Bellona. Now, what a Bellona can do is she can either play aggressive to you or play aggressive to the wave. Early in mid game, people are more than likely going to be upping her bludgeon. So her bludgeon is going to be at around 3 levels, and then she's just going to have 1 level on the 3 and 1 level on the 1, which is good. That means she can't do that much damage to you unless it's with her bludgeon, and this is where the Ravana 2 comes into play. When you use my strategy and you start fighting the Bellona, the first thing she's going to do is try to bludgeon you to get you to back off. Now, this is where it comes in handy, because she's going to jump, she's going to do the bludgeon, and right when she's about to come down, you pop your 2, you take no damage, and then you clear the rest of the wave. And because she used her bludgeon to try to attack you, she's not going to be able to clear your wave as fast as you can for her. So when you do this, you clear the wave faster. She has to back off because, you know, minions are OP. They need to be nerfed. High res, please. And she's going to have to back off, go back to tower, and try again. Same thing with, you know, Amirs, Kabrakans. You see a Kabrakan coming, and he's about to hit you with his stun. Soon as he gets near you, and he's about to hit you, you pop the 2. You're immune to everything. Poseidon. If a Poseidon hits you with the whirlpool and ult, you pop your 2. At the perfect time, the ult doesn't hit you. Ravana is very good and should be played aggressively. But you have to be smart when you're playing with Ravana. You need great timing, especially with that 2. A lot of people that are really good with Ravana will not get beads. They will use the 2 instead. And if you're a person that thinks you're going to want to do that, you need to get your timing on point. So we got the 3, that's a lifesteal. We got the 1, which is a slow. And then you got the 2, which makes you immune to everything. On top of that, you got his passive that gives him a shield after every, I think it's 6 basic auto attacks. So now we're going to get down to, you know, the best part of almost every god, and that's their ult. Personally, me, I only use that ult to secure a kill or to back off. When I need to escape, that's what I use the ult for. The reason I do that is because the 2 has a very long cooldown time, especially early in mid game. I think it's about 18 seconds. So you pop the 2, you can't use it again for 18 seconds. That's a downside to his kit. And even with a full cooldown reduction, I think it's more or less 12 to 15 seconds, I believe. It's still a long cooldown time. And because of this, you have to be very careful. You can't continue to pop a 2, you know, every 5 or 8 seconds to, you know, get away from people. So therefore, I save the ult as an escape. If I have to jump over a wall, if there's a bunch of CC coming at me, if I'm about to die and there's like an Athena, Medusa, they're all ready to CC me, then I gotta pop the 4 to try to get away. Now, when you're trying to get away from the fight, I suggest you pop the ult and then your 2. The reason for this is because, let's say there's an Athena chasing you and then she's about to taunt. You don't want to do a 2 and then ult and then have Athena dash at you and then have her get you again with the taunt. You want to save the 2 for when you really need it. Like I said, timing is key. So if Athena's chasing you and you feel she's about to taunt you, you use your ultimate to get away, and then she dashes at you, and then she tries to taunt you, you pop your 2, you're gone, you're free, you're good to go. And then if after that she's still chasing you, you could turn around, throw your 3 at her, root her, or you can hit her with the 1 and take off, because then she's slowed. Ravana roots people, Ravana slows people, he becomes immune, he can be very, very, very aggressive. Okay, so when you're playing Ravana in the solo lane, like I said in my last video, you can't have a specific build and use it every single time. It's never gonna work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to give you guys the first couple items and then give you some options depending on what you're playing up against. So when using a Ravana, you're pretty much going to use the same build you use in every solo laner. With Ravana, you're going to start with Bluestone Pendant, Tier 1 boots, Teleport, 4 mana potions, 4 health potions. Now you can switch this up depending on how good you are with, keeping track of your mana and health. Ravana, like I said, he has a lifesteal ability and a shield. So most people might want to get 4 mana potions and 4 multi potions. What this will do is when you run out of mana, you pop a mana and multi potion, and it pretty much doubles the amount of mana you're getting back every second or so. Like I said, it's completely up to you. Like I said in the last video, builds are always different depending on who you are and how you use a god. If you tend to be super aggressive like I do when I play with Ravana, I get 4 health potions because I'm going to take a lot of damage, and the lifesteal isn't enough to get me back up to feeling comfortable enough to come back and be more aggressive. So then after that, you finish your boots. Finish your boots to a warrior's tabby. You do that for, the extra physical power. You don't need attack speed. You can get ninja tabby if it's a bunch of squishies, but 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be a bunch of squishies. You're going to be going up against someone else who can peel. So you're going to need a warrior's tabby. After that, I suggest going breastplate of valor. This gives you some cooldown reduction, and actually it really helps you in the mid game if you have that cooldown reduction. After that, I normally go magical defense. The reason for this is Ravana is very strong, and by the time you're getting your 3rd item, your 1 and your 3 should pretty much be almost all the way up. And together as a combo, that 3 and 1 take a ton of damage when leveled up. So because of this, I'll normally go a magical protections item, which will normally be a bulwarks. But there are times where I feel so safe, like if I'm doing really good and no one can hurt me and no one's rotating, I will instead get a Transcendence. The reason I do this is because if you get that Transcendence, the Ravana damage is already crazy, and with the Transcendence, it makes it so much more. It hurts, basically. It hurts. It hurts really bad. So depending on how the game's going, I'll either get a Transcendence or Bulwarks. 9 times out of 10, it's a Bulwarks. After that is when you got to start deciding what your team needs and what you think you want to do. Normally at this time, I'll get something for power because I already have 2 defense items. So now it's time to get me some power so I could at least do something else. Normally this will be anything from a Titan's Banes to a Chin Size to a Frostbound Hammer. But you just get something for power or attack speed. I highly recommend power. But me, I get a Chin Size because it gives me attack speed and power. And since I'm going up against a tanky character who can peel a lot, I can almost guarantee he's going to have a lot of health. But that's only going to work for 2 characters because only 2 characters are going to have a lot of health. Just keep that in mind. After that, I decide to go something that gives me protections on both sides. So I'll get a Spirit Robe, a Mantle of the Scourge, Hide of the Urchin, or Magi's. Any of those 4 is normally what I'll get after that. And then is when you got to decide what's going on. The last 2 items that you have, you're going to want to make very situational. If there's a healer, get Pestilence or Brawler's Beat Stick. If they have a ton of slows and they keep slowing you, grab a Winged Blade. There's different ways to work with this. If they have a lot of if they have 4 squishy physical, get an Ichval. If they have a Kali and a Shibalanke and a Kronos and they got all this attack speed, get yourself a Midgardian Male. You know, there's different ways you can approach this. And so because of that, like I said, every build situational. The boots and the Breastplate of Valor, you're always going to want to start with. Almost always. Unless you're going up against a magical. If you're going up against a magical in the solo lane, switch that breastplate to something else. Most people like to start with the Pestilence because most solo gods that are magical have healing. That Pestilence reduces that. But that starting build, Bluestone, Tier 1, 4/4, Teleport, you're going to want those. And now with leveling up, this is the way I level up. I level up my 3 first, of course. As soon as I start the game, I want that 3. I want that lifesteal. It works. It helps a lot. And it's a line, so it can get to the whole wave. After that, I'll get my 1. When I up my 1, I up it for the slows. I up it because it does damage as well. And the 3-1 combo, as I said, does a lot of damage. So I up the 1. After that, I up the 3 again. The reason I don't up the 2 is because in the beginning of games, I don't put myself in positions that will get me killed. Even when I'm aggressive, if I feel like someone's coming, I back off. So I will up my 3 at level 3. Level 4, then I get my 2, and that's when you can really start being a little more aggressive because now you have an immunity to most things. After that, you get your ult, and then after that, you get your 3 as much as you can, and then when you have to get something else, you get your 1, ult when you can. I always do the immunity last. I make sure I have everything else leveled up before I level up that 2. The reason for this is because, like as I said before, that 3-1 combo leveled up does a ton of damage, and especially mid game, it is insane, and you can be super aggressive with that. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just want to throw out there that if you guys have any specific questions, put them in the comment section. I can answer those for you. I don't know which god I'm gonna do next, but it will be a solo lane god. If there's anything, any detail I missed that you would like to know, please put it in the comment section so I can tell you more about it, and then in the next video I can add that to the list. As for now, this is all I could think of in order to give you guys a little brief video of tips and stuff that you can use for each god. So with all that being said, it's your boy Foolish Wits. Peace.